As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about my near-death experiences and explain how I nearly died 3 times. I'm not going to waste time, so let's get straight into the video. All these experiences occurred when I was young, and I'm not going to lie, I would sometimes act as a dumb child who wasn't aware of his surroundings. The first time I could have died wasn't when I was 5, 10 or 18 years old, but when I was just a baby. As a baby, a majority of the human population would have had infantile amnesia, which means a person cannot recollect any memories from when he was younger than 2 to 4 years old. I am telling you this because I had no idea this happened until my mum told me. Basically, my mum needed to go to the hospital due to the obvious fact that she was about to give birth to me. Everything seemed fine until I popped out. What I was told is that the umbilical cord that fed me was wrapped around my neck, which meant I was suffocating and couldn't breathe. I was also informed that I turned blue due to the lack of oxygen I wasn't getting. Fortunately, they were able to remove it in time before I even started a life in this world. However, I was told I needed to be put in a special care unit so that they could keep an eye on my vitals, just in case something else happens. My second near-death experience occurred when I was around 3 years old. I was told that when I was 3 years old, I was playing in the front garden with my older brother, who was around 8 years old at the time. I don't know exactly what we were playing, but that doesn't matter as much when it comes to the story. Anyway, me and my brother were at the bottom of the drive, and my mum was at the front door keeping an eye on us, to make sure everything was okay. But at the same time, our next door neighbours were having an argument because the wife found out that the husband was having an affair. So it makes sense that they were having an argument about it. When they were arguing, the husband was frustrated and went into his car. And during this time, I was a clueless child with no sense of danger. When I was playing in the front garden, I ended up on their driveway as well, and the frustrated husband had no idea. When he went into his car, he tried to be as quick as possible to get away, and began reversing fairly quickly. My mum noticed, but she wasn't close enough to save me, and she thought this is the end, but luckily, before the car was able to hit me, my brother was able to grab me away just in time before I became roadkill. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be alive right now, so I'm truly grateful for that. The third time I could have nearly died was when I was around 4 or 5 years old. Me and my family went on vacation to Morocco, but I can't quite remember the city we stayed at, but either way, it was meant to be a nice and relaxing holiday. I'm gonna set the scene. Me, my brother, and my mum and dad were at the swimming pool. It seemed to be a hot day, so my parents decided to take us to the swimming pool to cool down. At the time, as I said, I was 4 or 5 years old and I didn't know how to swim, so I believe I wasn't able to go into the pool until one of my parents did as well. Anyway, since my brother could swim, he decided to go to the deep end of the pool. I don't exactly know what my parents were doing, but for a few seconds they didn't see me, and I ran off and began following my brother, and I also went to the deep end of the pool. But instead of swimming, I fell in, which was dumb. But I was a clueless child who didn't know that I needed to learn how to swim or something. Anyway, I was in the water dropping to the bottom. The thing is, I don't know if the swimming pool had a lifeguard or not, but if it did have a lifeguard, he was a massive knob. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. You know, he was probably like, "Oh, let me turn the other cheek and sacrifice him to the pool god and send him to the gulag or something." I mean, I don't understand how no one really saw me. I mean, what I've been told, not many people saw me when I fell into the pool. But when I did go into the pool, I began drowning. And however, I was lucky because when I did end up falling into the pool, my dad did notice me, and he rushed to save me, to get me, and he was able to get me in time. So when he grabbed me out of the pool, of course, I was able to breathe again, and that is pretty much my 3 death experiences. And my close family members are the reasons why I'm still alive until this day. And it's mad how I I nearly died even before my age was even a double digit. This last story isn't a near-death experience, but I thought I would include it. It's the time I nearly lost my right eye. The story begins when I was around 6 or 7 years old. Me, my mum, and my brother went to a family friend's house, and my brother was best mates with their son. We'll call the son Nigel for context. When we arrived, my mum sat down and talked with the mum and dad, and their son took us upstairs, I believe to his bedroom. Nigel decided to show my brother some of his BB guns. If you don't know what a BB gun is, just search it up, it's similar to an airsoft gun. Carrying on with the story, the three of us didn't know what to do. We were bored at the time, so we ended up playing with the BB guns. We did take out the magazine clips because we knew BB pellets do hurt, and for safety measures as well. However, when we started to pretend to have a gunfight, my brother pretended to shoot me and pulled the trigger. Even though we took out the ammo, we forgot to check if there was one in the chamber, which there was. We all didn't know, so I don't blame my brother for what could have happened. Anyway, when he pulled the trigger, the BB pellet went straight towards my eye. However, I couldn't really see it due to its velocity being fast. The pellet ended up just missing the eye and hit the corner of it, if that makes sense. I'll try and show where it hit with an image. When it hit me, it obviously hurt and began to bleed, so I went downstairs to get it checked out. They stopped the bleeding, but they were angry at Nigel and my brother for using BB guns, especially around a younger kid, which was me. All these experiences have taught me that I'm very lucky to be alive and still have a functioning body. And from this, I know that life is precious and fragile, so make the most of it without damaging yourself. If you made it this far, that's great, and if you did end up enjoying the video, consider leaving a like and subscribe. It's completely free and most appreciated. And I'll see you in the next one.